Hi, Collective. It's Intuitive Pisces Moon, and today I just want to do a spiritual guidance check in. So, we're going to look at some obstacle that we are encountering right now as a collective, get some advice, and then look at the outcome. So, I just want to thank you all so much for joining me today in this reading. I appreciate all of your time and energy exchange. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here for a while, thank you so much for returning. I do truly appreciate it. All right, I am going to jump in and get some advice and information from our ancestors and angels and get some practical advice on our daily routines. All right, so I am going to make 3 piles. And actually what I'll do is I'll shuffle, make 3 piles, and then fast forward through this so you don't have to watch it. Okay, so let's take a look at the 3 piles. So we're going to start here. These are the obstacles that we are encountering right now as a collective. So let's see. What are we dealing with? Okay. So we have an obstacle. And here's what I'm seeing, this attachment to money, or an attachment to how something is playing out in our money situations. And the air guardian is here to tell us that we need to shift our perception of the way money works. So this is very interesting to me because I did just have this conversation with somebody yesterday about how energy is our currency. And so we're needing to shift how we perceive money in this world. Okay, so something may be keeping you from shifting your perspective, and that is likely an attachment to something. All right, now justice is here to tell us that things need to be fair and even. And the way I'm interpreting that is, again, if we give a service, what is a fair exchange to receive for it? It does not have to be money. Now, you need money to live, and that's just a given, unfortunately. So we do need to make enough money to survive, to pay our bills and to do all of that. But at the same time, are we assessing correctly how our energy is going out into the world, and is it a fair compensation for what we're receiving in return? Now, some of us may have this attachment to a job because we feel safe and secure and it's bringing us the money that we need to survive. However, that's not really what true freedom is. So this is where the air guardian is coming in and saying, okay, well, that is working for you now, but that's not going to last forever. So that is a misconception in our society right now. It is, what is it that we think is freedom? Financial freedom. It's not sitting at a desk 9 to 5, working for somebody else, doing things for somebody else. Because are you truly happy doing that? Do you feel fulfilled in doing that? Not only that, but some of these corporations do not value their employees. They may say they do, but really, if you quit or got fired, or even, or even, God forbid, you passed away, you would just be replaced. So that is a horrible feeling. And, obviously my throat chakra acted up right there. Some of us don't like hearing that, and I understand that completely because we want to feel valued. And here's the thing. Other people do not dictate what we are worth. So we go out there and we have a service to provide, whatever that service is. And you get to say what the price of that service is worth. Now, if people don't want to pay it, that's a different story because they also have to put a value on what you're offering to them. So does the service that you're offering make sense in a world that, again, doesn't understand energy exchange? So there's going to be a little bit of a dance that's going to happen until we completely flip over into this energy exchange lifestyle. Okay? There's going to be times, though, where you are going to be put in a position to do something that comes just from you. You're putting out your energy, and you're going to be fairly compensated for it. Now, a lot of times that does mean working for yourself. So what I want to talk about there with that is there's going to be people you're going to meet along your journey that have something that you need, and then there's going to be something that you offer that they need. And then you can set up a barter. So I'm going to use two examples. One is a massage therapist and one is a beautician or person that cuts hair, does hair, or even makeup, etc. There might be times where you offer your massage therapy to this person and they appreciate it because who doesn't love a massage? And then there's going to be times where you need to get your hair done. And they're going to say, you know what? Your hour's worth of time is just as valuable as my hour's worth of time. Let's trade services. I will give you this massage and I will give you this doing of your hair. So again, whether it's cutting it, dyeing it, styling it, whatever the case. And that creates a symbiotic relationship. You're now expressing to another individual that your time is just as valuable as my time, and I see your worth and you see my worth, and we're going to exchange our energy. Now, I know that that's not going to work in every single scenario because, as I said, we do need money to survive. We have to pay bills. But I think that for the most part, you are still going to get people that are going to show up at your door needing what you have to offer and are going to be willing to pay for what it is that you have to offer. The biggest obstacle here is seeing your own worth and knowing what your time is worth and letting go of this need to have, the job because you feel that it is secure. Because again, ultimately, it's not going to last forever. Now, a long time ago, things were different. So depending on your age bracket of who's listening right now, if you are in the older realm, okay, even going back to the baby boomers and potentially Generation X, we'll see. I don't necessarily know when it got cut off, but I know that from my generation on, it's non-existent. You used to be able to show up at a job. You used to be able to stay there forever if you wanted to. And you would get a pension, you would get bonuses, you would get all kinds of advantages, your insurance, your 401ks. And they valued you and you valued them because you felt secure in that position. And then even after you left or retired, you had that pension to fall back on. There are so few jobs now that offer that anymore. And again, they want to tell you that you're valued and tell you that, we definitely enjoy your energy exchange. But do you honestly, deep within your soul, feel that you are valued and that you are getting compensated fairly for what you offer? So that is the biggest obstacle here. We as a society need to relook at money, how it is earned, and how it is exchanged. Is it fair? All right. So that's all I have on this pile. That is our obstacle. Now, I'm going to leave these out so we can see them. And then I am going to get into the next pile, which is our advice. So what is the advice? Okay. I love this. So our advice, release expectations. Do not focus on the money aspect of your dreams. Abundance will come at the right time. Now, we know this deep down. You have an inner knowing that trusts that this is the right way to function as a society and that we are getting there. Some of us have just abandoned hope that this will ever occur, and some of us are very skeptical of it. And you know what? I don't blame you one bit. Again, for these older generations, some have been through terrible times. Okay? It's reminding me of like Prohibition in that time. There was a lot of hardship going on back then. I don't know if anybody's still alive from that time because that would have been 100 years ago. But it reverberates through time. So let's just say your grandma lived through that time, or your great-grandma lived through that time. Everything that was learned during that time was, oh shoot, the market could crash at any time and none of this means anything. You could just lose it all in a split second. So some of them stopped using banks and started hiding their, mattress money. And some of them didn't trust that the government would take care of us or that things would just be fine. So there's like a fear around money. Now, with the Seven of Pentacles here, this is about having patience and knowing that your money is growing. And it's not just your money, but it is about your time that you are investing into something. So think about your time as your garden. You are planting the seeds. You're being very delicate with it. You're putting your love into it. You're watering it. You're watching it grow. And you trust that this is what's going to bring my abundance. So releasing expectations, again, we're not being money focused, but it is about focusing on your dreams. Now, money is still always going to be an underlying aspect of our dreams. How much money can I make by doing this thing that I want to do? But that should not be your main focus. Now, over here, we did have shift your perception. Don't do things just for the money and you hate your job. It should be the complete opposite of that. Do your dreams and the money will come. So, again, with this medicine mother, honor your inner knowing. You already know this deep down inside. In fact, your higher self, your soul, tries to tell you this all the time. Some of us choose not to hear it because, again, this attachment. And that's okay because we're all human beings and we're still learning. And it's okay to slip up and not do the right thing, even if you know better. Okay? Some of us are afraid to take that next step. The interesting thing is I was almost going to do like an entrepreneur reading today. Maybe I will save that for Wednesday. Let me know if you're interested in that. But I'm pretty sure that most of us are on this bandwagon here of not enjoying our normal jobs, okay? Not feeling like we're giving back to society in some way. We're just feeding some rich guy's pocket who's at the top of the chain somewhere. And we want to get out there and do our own thing. I mean, that to me is the American dream. And I know some of you may be from other countries, and that's okay. It's still a dream regardless. I don't know how much more difficult or easy it is in other countries, but here it's like some of us attempt it and fail because the system is set up for you to fail. So it's almost like we have to find these creative ways around the system. And your inner self already knows how to do this. This is like you've been practicing for multiple lifetimes on how to accomplish this. And I'm telling you, my throat chakra is acting up, so someone doesn't want this message out. I'm telling you. But I'm putting it out. I don't care anyways. So, your advice is to trust that your seeds are growing. Your abundance is coming. And it's all coming from your energy that you're putting out. Trust that. Because it is possible. Shift your perception of how money comes in. Like some of us are waiting to win the lottery. Like, oh, one day I'll just win the lottery. Or one day I'll just be rich. The thing is we're not just going to be rich one day, most of us. I mean, very rare few of us may win the lottery or get an inheritance or something. But for the majority of us, we're going to have to plant the seeds and watch it grow. All right. So let's get into the next pile. And this is the outcome. So let's see what the outcome is. All right. So a couple of things here. I'm getting very strong here, balance. This is about alchemizing your energy. Learning when to give and when to take. And reflecting, so that's doing your meditations, trusting again your inner knowing. Summertime, we are in summertime now, but let's talk about the bee. The bee is always busy. And the bee is always doing what it thinks it should do for the benefit of not only themselves, but for their hive. They just instinctually know where to go to which flowers have the best pollen so that they can go home and make honey out of it. So that is the outcome. And that is the true definition of an alchemist. It is about turning copper into gold. We are being called to be like the alchemist, be like the bee, transform something into something greater. Now, we do have all tied up here. So some of us may feel that our outcome is that that's not what freedom is. Again, this to me is a misconception of something. And I am very strongly tying this back to, again, the previous generations who may have instilled this into our brains. Like, oh, that's not what freedom is. You know, I had this conversation with somebody about what is freedom? What is it to be financially free? Do you dictate how much money you make? Do you get to choose your own schedule and have the freedom to travel and the freedom to do the fun stuff that you want to do in your life? If you can't answer yes to either of those things, then that's not freedom. So, again, you are going to have to work your ass off to get this. But there's also going to be times where you need to balance that with peace. So, let's flip this and figure out how to be the alchemist or the bee. What we're going to do is we're going to take our time and our energy, and we're going to say, I have this to offer, and this is what I think this time is worth. Now, you can do your research and find out if people are going to be willing to pay that. So again, let's use a massage therapist as an example. Depending on where you work, if you go to some salon, you may not make as much because they're going to take their cut. They may pay you hourly or however that works out. But if you go work for yourself, then you don't have that. You still will probably have the overhead of paying for a building, paying for the utilities of that building, and then that's sort of like the cut that gets taken off, but you have to factor that in, okay? If you become a traveling therapist, you're going to have less overhead because now you're just paying for gas and the mileage and wear and tear on your car, which again, you can deduct on your taxes. So these are all things to factor in when we're deciding how much our time and energy is worth. Now, if we feel restricted in some way, I'm also getting that these go along with the rules and regulations of how we can offer our services. So this is like the legalities of everything. So to some extent, you may not have a lot of options on how you can offer your services. But if you follow the rules, follow the laws, and get there anyways, then my friends, you have done the work. You're going to go out there, you're going to trust the universe, you're going to put your time and energy into something, you're going to watch it grow, and it is yours. Now here we have bask in joy and light. So to me, that is the freedom of having that time to lay in the sun and just enjoy your day. But also know when it's time to be the busy bee and go collect the pollen so that you can bring it home and alchemize it into honey. So I know I've said this before on this channel. If any of you have not read The Alchemist, I do suggest you go out and read it. It's only like 80 something pages. It's a quick read, but it is so profound, and it's all about life lessons and all about how to get to things and that sort of thing. Now, I will say that that book keeps referencing in my mind because there are different characters in the book. And one of the characters in the book, what he does is he searches his whole life for the alchemist. Now, this is another person because he thinks that that person is gonna help teach him how to make copper into gold. He spent his whole life reading books. He spent his whole life traveling, searching for this person. But never once did he attempt to do it himself. He kept thinking in the back of his mind that someone else is better at doing this because I've never done it, so therefore I assume I can't do it. Okay, that's kind of this energy here. You're shooting yourself in the foot before you've even taken the first step. So, what I am saying to you about that story is that the only thing the universe is asking you to do at this time is to take the first step, my dear. If that is confirmation that you needed, there it is. There's not somebody else that does it better than you. You're not going to find the alchemist by searching your whole life and reading a ton of books. You know how you're going to get good at doing this? Do it. Just start. Just take the first step. It seems like such an easy thing, but so many of us inside are so tripped up on the fear of the unknown that we're so afraid to take that first step. And it's hindering our ability to move forward. But what I am seeing here is balance, joy, light, peace. If we can find that within ourselves and take that first step, the universe is going to help you get through the rest. The other messages that I've been receiving is, a lot of us go through scenarios in our mind. Let's just say you're thinking about what that first step is, and you already kind of know the direction you need to go in. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go to this place and I'm going to talk to this person and I'm going to advertise my services. I'm going to see if they want what I have to offer. You're again shooting yourself in the foot before it's even happened. And what you're doing is you're saying, this person's not going to appreciate me. They're not going to see my value. They're not going to pay me what I'm worth. And it's, again, negative thinking. It's like a negative mindset. You can't move forward if you're all tied up. So you've got to let go of these attachments, cut these cords that are holding you back and say something different. The person I'm going to go see is going to see my value. They are going to pay me what I'm worth. They are going to value me and my services. And with that, you are speaking it into existence. You could even do like, trying to think of the word. It's like a form of meditation, but it's a way of picturing something happening and having it been done already. So it's kind of like a guided meditation. I'll have to look that word up. But basically you think about it, you imagine the best possible outcome, and then so it is. So instead of thinking the worst things that could possibly come up or happen, because you're basically speaking that negativity into existence, now you're flipping the script and saying positive outcomes. This is what's going to happen. This is how I see it, and this is how it is. End of story. You're letting go of whatever is holding you back, this attachment. And then whether this is rope or chains, you're saying, I do not want to live in this world anymore. This way. Sorry, I'm not suggesting we all off ourselves. But we understand what's holding us back. And we're choosing to cut the cord rather than just staying in this fear. Because there's so many beautiful things that are going to occur the minute you say, I'm letting go of this because I choose this outcome. This does not affect me. I am not held back by anything. I am an infinite being with infinite possibilities. I just saw 222. So, the universe has your back, and they want you to succeed. They want you to take that first step. Okay, let's wrap this up by getting some affirmations for you. So I'm just going to throw these up here. All right, Spirit, what advice do we have for the collective? I can do less and attract more. Yes. So again, that is all part of the American dream. Okay? You should have time to be busy, but also to relax and chill and enjoy your freedom. Go on vacations. Sit and hang out and do nothing. Like, that's the greatest form of freedom. I do my work when I need to, and I can relax when I need to. I release time and let the universe show me what to do. Yep, that's the trust. So release whatever is tying you up or you're attached to. Release it. Let it go and let the universe help you get through this. When I introduce joy to a situation, I change the vibrational frequency of what's happening around me. That is very important. So again, I did speak earlier about negative thoughts. The minute I flip the script and start thinking positively of how the positive outcomes could go, that's when the vibrational frequency changes around me. Now, I do want to say too that when you do go into that office or whatever it is you're doing to offer your services, aside from trying to remain positive and thinking of the positive outcomes rather than the negative, another thing is that Spirit has put chosen ones in particular places and locations to help you through what you're trying to accomplish. Okay? So if you go to a place and they don't see your value and don't see your worth, that's okay. That's one that turned you down. That means that place wasn't right for you. You know, they say that when God closes a door, another one opens, or even multiple ones open. So you go to the next one. Maybe the next one is like, oh, wow, we have been looking for somebody exactly like you. Thank you for showing up. Yes, we need you. Let's get started. Like, imagine that outcome when you're going in. Like, oh, they've been looking for me. I'm the one. I'm the one that's going to help these people in whatever way it is. All right, that one flew out. In stillness, I receive. All right, I say this as an affirmation all the time. I love it. You can, when you're doing your meditation, kind of like this picture here, you can even put your hands up like this and say, in stillness, I receive. And that's all it is. All right, what else do we have, Spirit? Instead of worrying about the future, I know all is well when I'm aligned in the moment. There it is. All right. So, we don't need to have any sort of attachment to anything from the past. We don't need to worry about what's holding us back. You live in the now, and you just trust and believe that this has all dissolved, and you're just free to move forward. That's a beautiful place to be sitting. My ability to receive is measured by how much I practice good feeling thoughts. Yep. So again, a lot of us have just a very negative mindset on things, and we need to work on flipping that internal voice. Okay? We need to flip it to say the positive outcomes of situations. Instead of, oh, what could go wrong? Scratch that, reverse it. What can go right? Each time I choose to tune into spirit, guidance of the highest truth shows up for me. Yep. When I'm grateful for what I have, I can feel good along the way for what I desire. Definitely. Let's get one more. To begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and let spirit give me direction. Yep. So if any of you are just not trusting the universe at this time, that could be a crown chakra situation. Like you're fearful and you don't think that it's going to work out. Your crown chakra might need some help. Okay. So your crown chakra is located at the very top of your head. And I know that when I say something and it's true, a lot of times I'll get like a tingle up there. Like a tingling at the top of the head. And that's you saying, okay, yep, what I just said is accurate. Thank you for the confirmation, Spirit. If you don't feel that you're connected to Spirit, then that might be something to work on. It is about building trust with the universe and knowing that even though the next step is unknown and it's scary and you can't control the outcome, do it anyways. Do it even with fear inside of you. Just muster up just enough courage to take that next step. And then you'll just keep doing that. I know that I've been watching The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And this show is hilarious, guys and gals. And there's a thing that she says in there. It's like, well, can you get through this for the next 10 seconds? Well, yeah, anybody can get through it for the next 10 seconds. You count to 10, you start over. Okay, that 10 seconds passed and I made it. I didn't die. Nothing terrible happened. Let me count to 10 again. And again, and again, and again. It's just one of those things where you're shifting your mindset. You're doing positive affirmations. You're allowing the universe to support you and to guide you and your inner knowing. Okay, so that could be your spirit guide, your higher self, whoever it is that you call upon, you know? And if ever you just don't know, like you're so confused, like what is the next step? I just have literally no idea. You can ask. Hey, spirit. Hey, guides. Hey, higher self. I honestly am just at a total loss here and don't have any clue what to do next. Please send me a sign. Help me out. Let me know where it is you need me to be at this time. And you will get an answer. And you may not like the answer. And you may want to curl up in a ball in the corner like a little kid and be like, I don't want to do that. You know, your angry teenager might dig their heels in and say, no, that's too scary. I can't. But that's part of the inner child stuff that we're working on as a collective. So there might be resistance. I'll just use that word. But a lot of that is going to stem from the inner work that we still need to do within ourselves. And that's okay. Again, we're human beings. Nobody is perfect. And also, don't compare your journey to anyone else's. I've been seeing a lot of things happen around me, and the human ways to tend to want to compare yourself to them and say, oh, they're experiencing that. I haven't experienced that. How come they are experiencing that and I'm not experiencing that? It's not a bad thing, okay? We all hit on different parts of our journey at different times. So maybe something that you have learned already, that this other person that you perceive as getting something better than you hasn't learned that lesson that you've already learned yet. And vice versa. There's probably things you're doing that you've already learned the lesson on, and somebody else is looking at you going, oh, how come you get to have that? Because they haven't learned that lesson yet. So be kind, be gentle, and be compassionate with yourself as you grow through this process, because it is a process. It's a journey, not a destination. There's no one place we're waiting to land and then it's over, that's it. It's not like that at all. We're all learning little things along the way. Think of it as like a spiral, okay? Or a unilome. There's twists and turns. There's times when you feel like you're in the same circle of spot on your learning journey, but really you're higher up. Oh, I learned that already. But guess what? I'm higher up, and now I understand how to attack that problem a little better than I did when I was down there at the bottom. Okay? So, let's look at the bottom of the deck, and then we'll close this reading. When I'm connected to spirit, I feel a sense of certainty, magnitude, and ease that I have never known before. You hear that? It's easy. What makes it hard is our resistance to it. It seems, again, like such a simple concept, but man, human beings are complicated individuals. There are so many facets to our personality. It's not an easy journey, and nobody said it is. And if you do get approached with some, fast making money scheme, and it seems too good to be true, guess what? More than likely, it's too good to be true. So be careful of that. I'm going to warn you of that now. All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a beautiful reading. I truly appreciate your time and energy exchange. Make sure you fill your own cup up with love before you fill someone else's. Go within so you never go without. Keep in mind that I'm a beacon of light here to help guide you through the darkness. I wish you all a lifetime of happiness, health, wealth, abundance, and as always, love. All right, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.